and I are both going to take great pleasure in introducing Jack Canfield. I just want to say, I mean, everybody, I don't know anybody who doesn't know, hasn't read something of one of the books of Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he's a wonderful presenter, et cetera, et cetera. But what I wanted to say is what matters to me when a presenter presents is when they show up with soul. And Jack Canfield shows up with his soul. And he's also humble, and he's brilliant, and he's generous, and he's kind. And David and I met him a few years ago. We were all presenting at a conference in Liverpool. And it was so much fun. We went out for an evening. And he is also a lot of fun. So it's really wonderful to have him here. This is a good man. So
in that conference, Jack was giving a keynote, and it was people from all over Europe who were interested in innovative education. A lot of them were in the school system. And Jack, very early in his presentation, said that, I was in the bookstore last night, and I bought a DVD, and I started watching it. And there was this guy that was doing this tapping, which he knew about. He was already teaching tapping in his seminars. And it was working with a person that had a phobia. And the reason I'm mentioning it is because the technique is so powerful, and the practitioner was so sensitive. So he really won a place in my heart forever. He said that. But he didn't have to say that. He was not getting a commission on that DVD. And in fact, that is what Jack does, is when you think about the work that he does, he has focused the light, just like he focused on me that morning. He focuses the light. He's done it for thousands of people to bring out their best, to show their best to the world, to get them to tell their most inspiring stories. That's what Jack does. And he has gotten those stories out into the world in the biggest way. More people have bought one of his books than any other author in the world. 500 million, 500 million. That is a number, we can break it down. If a author sells a book, writes a book that sells 100,000 copies, they are in an elite club. Now you multiply that by 10, and that's 1 million. And you multiply that by 10 again, 10, and that's 10 million. And you take each of those and multiply it again, and that's 100 million. And now you take 5 of those. That's how many books he has sold. But it's not about selling books. It is about bringing inspiration out to this world. Bringing inspiration out to this world that so needs inspiration. And that's what he's about. And how does a person get the authority to bring inspiration out into the world? They do it by living an inspiring life. And we've had the pleasure of meeting a few times with Jack, and you just sit there rapt listening to his stories. And his stories are, he's done everything, everywhere, in some form. But his stories are about the people he's met. And some of them are famous, and some of them are political leaders, and some of them you've never heard of. But the stories each show the human spirit in its greatness. And so when we decided to bring him here to talk to you, what we wanted was we recognized that inspiration is only half of what Jack is good at. Inspiration comes from the heart and the soul. But getting that inspiration out to the world, that takes the mind and the brain. And Jack has really done both of them. And so we know that you have a message to give the world. We know you have a method to give the world. But if you can't find your audience, it makes it kind of empty. So what we hope is that Jack will be able to guide you in finding ways to bring your message, to bring your methods to the world, to make the incredible difference that we know they can. And we couldn't choose a better expert in talking to you about that topic. So, Jack, thank you so much for being here.